for the truth?
There's a need to feel that our universe is reliable, that the patterns of this earth are reliable, and there's an explanation for everything. But they find the explanation in linking things together that are they're unlinkable. You can't link somebody with a nervous tick. This guy with the arms on his shirt.
You're reminding me, dare I
Nancy.
say it, of a very, very old piece of poetry by Thomas.
I like white on white debates. You understand me? This is Mayo and Miracle Whip battling. You know what I mean? White on white debates, a Karen versus a Karen, live discussions on Charlie Kirk. I like this. It's getting deep.
A nervous tick. This guy.
Who y'all going for? Mayonnaise or Miracle Whip? What y'all doing?
With the arms on his shirt.
You're reminding me, dare
Nancy.
I say it, of a very, very old piece of poetry by Thomas Hardy, as I recall. It's called HAP, H-A-P, which is short for happenstance, where Hardy opines, I'd rather there be some evil minion god, small g, that wishes ill on me, that's making me suffer, as opposed to thinking, this is all just by happenstance, just happened. I think our minds want to make sense of something that just happened because it doesn't fit in the order of our lives.
But you know, Nancy, this is a part of our survival mechanism. If we did not know where a predator was, we would be more likely to be killed or eaten. But if we knew where the predator was, then we could save ourselves. Like say our ancestors, if they're running through the forest, they're running from a bear, but they don't know where the bear is hiding. There's a greater likelihood that they will be killed. So now in our modern day society, in the face of the unknown, we have much greater anxiety. I'm thinking about people who get ghosted or canceled, or somebody doesn't return the call. That is much scarier for them than if like a new date just called and said, hey, I'm not that into you. We all want certainty in our world.
I am filing a criminal information charging Tyler James Robinson, age 22, with the following crimes. Count 1, aggravated murder, a capital offense, for intentionally or knowingly causing death
in our world.
I am filing a criminal information charging Tyler James Robinson, age 22, with the following crimes. Count 1, aggravated murder, a capital offense, for intentionally or knowingly causing the death of Charlie Kirk under circumstances that created a great risk of death to others. Count 2, felony discharge of a firearm causing serious bodily injury, a first-degree felony.
Hi guys, Crime Stories, now featuring on streamer.
You know we gotta skip her up.
I forgot the episode description.
We gotta skip her up. Let's get to it though.
That young man. I forgive him. I forgive him because it was.
You don't see one tear in them crocodile ass face. This is the face of a demon. She is the prodigy. She is the spy in this whole thing. She is one of the main orchestrators. She is sent out by the small hats. This is the goddamn devil. I'm sorry, y'all. Excuse my French, but her energy just gives negative. She didn't cry one damn tear. Candace Owens has more sensitive compassion for Charlie Kirk than Erica Kirk does. This lady is the goddamn devil, I'm telling you.
What Christ did and is what Charlie would do. The answer to hate is not hate.
That from our friends at Turning Point, that is Erica Kirk forgiving her husband's killer. She's stronger than me. That's all I can say. Now, Trump has a very different opinion and is calling for the death penalty. That is a whole nother can of worms. Joining us right now, a special guest, former Army sniper, ballistics expert, Koa Larimore. Koa, thank you for being with us. As you know, conspiracy theories are swirling.
Oh, shit. This nigga got a long neck. Damn.
Many of them involving the shooter and the shot specifically, saying that the shot is impossible for someone that is not a sharpshooter like yourself. First of all, let's just start with A and get to Z. Explain to me the shot, as you understand it, that killed Charlie Kirk.
The shot is very doable. Charlie Kirk was in a vulnerable position at the bottom of a fishbowl, right? The shooter had an
Damn, ain't nothing but motherfucking neck and head in the motherfucking camera. Yeah, I want to put my boy body in the picture. Nothing. You want to put his long bro neck long as it? Must be part giraffe.
Elevated position where he could see pretty much anything. The distance also 160 yards. So at the end of the day, with a couple range sessions, that's not that far and very doable.
With a couple of what sessions?
Range. So like going to the range a couple of times. It's very, very doable shot.
You know what? I'm glad you said that. Hold on, Koa. Chris McDonough joining me, director, Cold Case Foundation, former homicide detective, star of The Interview Room on YouTube. Chris, they better be tracking down every firing range within a 10, 20-mile radius to see if they can get the shooter on cam.
Yeah, no question about it, Nancy. And, you know, this investigation obviously is still very fluid. It's got two prongs to it. The first one is from the State Bureau of Investigation there in Utah, and they're under the umbrella of what they call SIAC, Statewide Information and Analysis Center. Those are the guys that are chasing most of these conspiracy theories, et cetera. And then the second lane here is the FBI. And what the FBI's done is they've brought in their, you know, evidence teams, and they're going to do a laser trajectory analysis, and they're going to match that up to what Koa's talking here, and whether or not the shooter could have actually shot from that position. It's a no-brainer. I agree with Doc Morgan and as well as Koa.
And, you know, to Franz Borghardt joining us, veteran trial lawyer, former prosecutor, founder of Borghardt's law firm. Franz, you're right in that every one of these conspiracies that are being spun out is fodder for the defense. Okay. All these claims that the shot was impossible, that the perp in custody couldn't have done it. That's just more fuel for the flame. And some good defense attorney is going to make hay with that.
So where there's smoke, there's fire, Nancy, and sometimes there's smoke screens. And the more chaos a defense attorney can play with, the more opportunity there is for reasonable doubt, or in this case, possibly getting a juror to say, hey, I think he did it, but I don't want to put him to death. So all of this stuff is just fuel for what is otherwise seemingly an open and shut case against this person.
Says you. You know, we thought that about O.J. Simpson, too, and Robert Blake, and Tot Mom Casey Anthony. We always think open and shut. Well, it ain't a legal term. You know what? Let's get away from flights of fancy and old English literature and back to Koa Lorimore joining us. Okay, so you're saying the shot is possible with a few practices at the range. What else can you tell me about the weapon that we believe was used? Next thing we're going to hear, it's not that weapon. It was somebody else's weapon that hasn't been recovered. Tell me about the weapon.
Yes, Nancy. So it was a bolt action rifle, right? Bolt action meaning you have to chamber around physically every time you press the trigger. Now, these rifles are very accurate, and using that weapon, you can achieve very accurate fire at longer distances than 160 yards.
Okay, here's my question right there. You said this weapon is very accurate as compared to what? What's not accurate? A Daisy B shotgun for a 12-year-old? What do you mean? This one is accurate. What about all the others? How is this one different?
So the difference between his and others, right? He had the advantage of having also a scope on it, right? This is going to magnify his target, and it's going to make it a lot easier to shoot. It'll be a clearer picture. It'll zoom it in. It's just going to make it overall.
When you say zoom it in, give me an example. Like if I look through that at an ant 100 feet away, what would it look like? Would I be able to see its little bitty insect eyes? How close are we talking?
It's like having it in a magnifying glass. So if you were to zoom it in on an ant, right, depending on the magnification, whether that's 8 times to 20 times, it could be the size of a human.
So, Koa, you're a sharpshooter, but could a regular person make this shot?
Yes, I believe a regular person can make this shot.
I've got a lot of questions. First of all, when we say a 30-06, we're referring to the bullet. What do you know about the bullet?
It's a 30-06. It travels at about 2,900 feet per second. It also is used in Middle America for big game hunting, deer, elk, hogs, so on and so forth.
What do you make of claims the bullet could not have lodged in Charlie Kirk's neck?
I think definitely anything.
And if he went and if he went up got on the roof a particular way with a ladder and everything, why wouldn't he get off the roof the same way? Because obviously it wasn't captured on camera. Or was it captured on camera? Because if he was captured on camera getting on the roof, where is it at? Now, if he got on the roof in the back using some place where ain't no camera at, why didn't he use that way to escape? It doesn't make any sense to me.
is possible. I think why people are saying that is just because it's uncommon. This round normally goes through people.
Why? I don't get it. Why that bullet typically goes through and others don't?
It's a larger round moving at a faster speed. That's why it's used for hunting big game.
Koa, as you know, conspiracy theories are spinning out as we speak tonight. Next thing you know, we're going to hear the DNA, as in the O.J. Simpson case, was planted. So explain to me, in the real world, not flights of fancy, where you would expect to find DNA on the weapon, on the bullets, on the casings, anywhere, and show me how the DNA would have been left.
So starting off with the weapon, I definitely would expect to find DNA first and foremost on the trigger, right? Also right where I'm holding my hand, on the grip of the stock. Also, when you're chambering around, DNA is on there as well. And then finally, you're going to put your cheek on the stock. So saliva and stuff is going to go on here while you're breathing. Your face is on it. DNA. This is definitely going to be a DNA point as well.
Well, how are you getting spit on the gun? What, Koa?
So you're breathing when you're taking your shot, right? So your mouth is going to be open, right? And could be found right there on the back of the stock.
That's explaining a lot. What about the bullets?
So there's definitely going to be DNA on there as well. While loading the rounds, right? You have to load them into the chamber, the magazine. So you're definitely going to have DNA on the bullets as well, unless you're extremely careful using gloves.
Speaking of the bullets, Koa, Laura Moore, evidence suggests that the killer engraved the bullets. That's another question for the shrink. What lonely dude is sitting at home engraving bullets? But that said, how in the heck do you engrave bullets, Koa?
So it's very easy, Nancy. First of all, I assume take some kind of Dremel tool right here, and that spins this drill bit and allows you to carve into the side of the casing or bullet.
How long would that take? I mean, you have to have pinpoint precision to engrave a bullet. How do you do that? Have you ever seen it done?
It's actually pretty quick. It's like writing with a marker, basically. Your handwriting might not be the best, but the message will get across.
Have you ever seen it done, Koa?
I've never seen anyone in my line of work engrave on their bullets, no.
Because you're normal, okay? You're not hunched over an engraving desk down in the basement of mommy's house with a light hanging over your head engraving a bullet. So I'm trying to figure out what more evidence I can get. Now that you've shown me that tool, I wonder if one of those is going to be found in his home that he shared with his alleged male lover. The allegations of him being a furry, don't care. I care about, hold up that tool again. What did you call it?
This is a Dremel, Nancy.
But Dremel is actually a brand name, like a McDonald's or a Xerox copy. What is the actual tool called?
It's a rotary grinder.
A rotary grinder. Okay, don't move. Joe Scott Morgan wants in. Jump in, Joe Scott.
Yeah, I was, and well done by Coda. He described this down to a T relative to DNA deposition. Two things here. First off, this weapon is it's a Mauser 98. That means it has an internal mag, which means it's not external, where you see external magazines. So the perpetrator would have had to have loaded this internally, where you're pushing the rounds down. Point of contact would probably be the thumb, over and over and over again until he gets the internal magazine topped off. Now, back to the Dremel tool. What's going to come into play here, Nancy, is they're going to reach out probably to their question document section, I would imagine, within the FBI. They're going to get samples of this guy's handwriting, and they will try to compare it. They'll try to compare it to what was left behind on the casings themselves, on that soft metal casing where he would have engraved at that point in time. And yeah, I know that it's kind of a long shot, but there are just certain.
Right. They acting like the bullet's got his name engraved on it. Tyler James Robinson. It ain't got his damn name on it.
A regular person could make the shot. How long did you train? What does that mean to be an Army sniper?
First off, Army sniper school is 5 weeks long. Also, I've trained for 2 years to become an Army sniper. And then you have follow-on schools, which I competed in the international sniper competition, and I also participated in Army mountain rifle.
Listen, my homeboy is a sniper right now in the military. Been a sniper in the military for almost 16 years, 17 years now. He told me sniper school, 90% of the people don't even pass. 99% of the people don't even pass it. They might pass the shooting. They might pass the scouting. They might pass the spotting. But one thing they always fail on is the encroachment. It's a mission where you got to get in the ghillie suit, and you got to be you got to come within. There's a target for you set up, which is a real human. You use, these blank shots, whatever. And you got to come in within 20 feet, 10 to 20 feet of the target in a ghillie suit without being seen. Make the shot. Then somebody else comes out to look for you after you makes the shot. You got to get out of there without being seen. Oh man, 99% of them people fail that mission. I know I will fail. So, sniper school is not nothing to play with.
Course. So that's the Army's Mountain Sniper School.
The messages also refer to engraving bullets and a mention of a scope and the rifle being unique. Messages from the contact, Tyler, also mentioned that he had changed outfits. Investigators noted inscriptions that had been engraved on casings found with the rifle. Inscriptions on a fired casing read, "Notices bulges, capital OWO, what's this, question mark. Inscriptions on the 3 unfired casings read, "Hey fascist, exclamation point, catch, exclamation point." Up arrow symbol, right arrow and symbol, and 3 down arrow symbols. A second unfired casing read, "Oh Bella Chow, Bella Chow, Bella Chow, Chow Chow." And a third unfired casing read, "If you read this, you are gay, LMAO."
Robinson's neighbors speculating about the suspect since he was arrested. Robinson and his roommate were known recluses, rarely seen leaving their home except for work and school, and virtually never entertaining visitors.
This is the mainstream narrative that they push up.
However, neighbors noticed an unusual amount of traffic on their street in the weeks leading up to the shooting, and they did not recognize any of the cars, many of them marked with out-of-state plates.
It's called
Let's get into the text
routine
messages.
evidence. Not that it's typical routine, but evidence of someone's routine. These two, the shooting suspect and
Let's get into the down text messages. That's what we really want to get into, is the damn text messages that they allege that they got. First, let's get back to the argument between Nancy Grace and Ugly Face. Let's go.
Group of support to make sure and have.
What did you mean by that?
any
At
kind of-
least right now is the shooter. Do you think somebody else is the shooter?
Well, this is the evidence that we are going off of right now, as is the FBI and as is everyone else.
Well, you're right about that. Dr. Bethany Marshall, that was a mouthful, all of which everything Victoria Churchill said is true. Now,
It's true.
I got to take what she said and use it in a murder case. Help me out.
Well, what I would hear in terms of a murder case is that their primary attachments were online. So if you want to gather behavioral evidence, you're going to look at their online activity. Somebody who writes on a bullet about getting a bulge and then a meme for a smiley face after that. Again, I would think about that being sexually motivated. I know they were a part of the furry community, which was all online in this
Hurry up,
case,
please.
in which pornography and pretending
Dr.
to
Bethany,
be half man,
really?
half creature
Look
go
around.
together.
Are you at Windsor Castle? I'm not. We're not having high tea with Camilla right now. The bullet was engraved about an. That's
Yes.
what this wackadoodle, not to suggest he's legally insane. He's thinking about he's engraving a bullet about the bullet he intends to use to murder Charlie Kirk. Now, I'm not a shrink, but that means something. What?
I think it means that the aggression and the dominance over another male and the notoriety that it would bring about, exciting to him,
BBL is crazy as hell.
go together, often for men who are criminals. We see this with serial killers. We see this with sadistic rapists. We see this with, they try to control the victim, have power over the victim, and it is exciting to them. I would think that the motivation for this crime, while many people, conspiracy theorists, you, I, everybody, we would want to think it's politically motivated, like there would be something meaningful or reasonable, or at least some type of a motivation we could understand. I think of this again as being more sexually motivated, that the aggression and the violence made him feel like a man. And that's why he put it on the bullet that went in his big old phallic symbol, the gun.
Okay, I've got a question for you. You're saying that to get motive, we're going to have to look at everything online because he basically had no interaction with anyone except for his alleged male lover. So that's what we're looking at. How does his fantasy life regarding furries fit into his out-of-body experiences?
That's a lie, because he had other friends that is known. They got fishing pictures out there. He was a huge advocate and known fisherman. So that's a lot. They already put the narrative out
Well,
there.
I think with furry,
You can't take what these ladies are saying. This
there are many aspects of the furry community, but one aspect is called ERP, which is erotic role play, in which one dresses up as a furry or as an animal. Other people
see her little BBL lipped ass over her talking about furry porno, transhuman animals, sex and shit.
will tell them what to do, and they create vignettes in which they interact with each other. Now, I don't know if he was a voyeur or doing this online, but this tells me that this guy lives in a fantasy world, that there is a lot of role play going on. Now, furries also have personalities, or they wear fursuits. So they dress up as people they
Bethany,
are not.
It's not just furries this guy's interested in. It's not just his alleged male lover. It's really crossing the line. Listen to one site in which he's interested.
Robinson's porn history surfaces. Robinson earned an award on Steam for frequently playing Furry Shades of Gay, a collection of choose-your-own-adventure sex scenes between humanoid animal characters. On furaffinity.com, Robinson follows Red Rusker, a controversial artist who published cub porn between a clearly adult character and an 8-year-old possum. Robinson is friends with a user who posts pornographic cartoons of women with grossly oversized bellies, sometimes having eaten their partner whole.
Okay, can you explain that to me? It's one
Okay,
thing
well,
to be a
so-
furry. It's another thing to watch furry porn with an 8-year-old possum, which is clearly an 8-year-old boy.
You know, Nancy, because these furry characters are avatars of Tyler, okay? They're his avatar.
To Chris McDonough joining us, homicide detective, star of the Interview Room. You know, the neighbors are stating that the alleged perp's home was thronged with vehicles, which is very uncharacteristic. These two were recluses. You went to the scene. Somebody's got to have a door cam, which means the feds are going to have video of everybody outside that home. Let's see a shot of the home that McDonough took.
Yeah, Nancy. I mean, they're going to have not only hopefully some door cam video, but maybe some license plates as well that are coming in and out of that neighborhood there. And talking about all this furry stuff, I mean, maybe this guy should just have been booked at the Human Society. Because I mean, this stuff is
put him up.
Is absolutely.
You know what? This is not a time for levity. Let's move forward with the evidence. Right. And the evidence is what can we make of the vehicle's part, if anything?
Yeah, well, it just tells us that there's a secondary possibility that he's got a lot of friends that may have had pre-incident knowledge about this. And one other thing about let's talk about the showcasing again one more time. At his house, they found a showcasing with additional engraving on it. That tells me maybe they also have the box. And if there's a box, then there's a lot number on that box. They're gonna chase it down.
Also, we are hearing conspiracy theories hatched from another neighbor that sees the alleged shooter walking through, yakking on his phone immediately after the shot. Question is, who's he talking to? Who else knows about the shooting?
A homeowner in the neighborhood just off campus where Robinson stashed his Dodge Challenger turned over doorbell footage of a man they believe to be Robinson walking past their home, talking on his cell phone just minutes after the shooting. The homeowners told FBI they heard the man mention the shooting in his conversation, leading to suggestions Robinson told at least one other person of his plans and may have an accomplice.
Candace Owens published a never-before-seen photo of Robinson after the shooting. Robinson is seen standing at the counter in a Dairy Queen 17 minutes from campus in a maroon shirt, jeans, and wearing a black hat with black sunglasses on top. Owens claims the photo was taken at 6:38 p.m. while Robinson waited to retrieve his grandfather's rifle.
That photo on the left from Candace Owen. Sydney Sumner, Crime Stories investigative reporter. Even if that is Robinson, how does that fit into the timeline?
Well, this fits. It shows that he was still hanging out in Orem in the area of UVU campus, waiting to try and get that rifle back. We see that in that text conversation between Robinson and Lance Twiggs discussing, I'm trying to leave. I wanted to be out of here by now, and to get that gun back, not only to prevent him from getting caught, but because that was a family heirloom and he was worried he would be caught if he didn't have that rifle on him, which is exactly what his father caught him on later. Send me a picture of your grandfather's rifle. And Robinson couldn't because he didn't have it with him.
More from Candace Owens. Listen.
I feel this kid, for some reason, some unknown reason, is being protected. And I'm not the only one. His family feels that way. Okay. His family thinks it's odd. They don't buy the story. Okay. Lance's family is telling me that they are not buying the current story and that they feel that more people are involved. They think it's odd that the feds moved on from him so quickly and that the feds were being dishonest and they felt about everything when they first came out with information.
That from Candace Owens. Have the feds moved on from him? To Franz Borghardt joining us, veteran trial lawyer. Franz, I'm not sure that they've moved on from the roommate. Just because he's not in custody does not mean they've dropped his investigation.
I agree. I don't think they've moved on from anybody. And just because there hasn't been an arrest yet doesn't mean there won't be an arrest. The feds are very thorough. They do a great job with their investigations. And look, oftentimes the feds will take their time with co-conspirators. Sometimes co-conspirators cooperate against principal actors. So I agree, Nancy. I don't think we should assume anybody has moved on from anything with regard to this investigation.
If you know or think you know anything about the Kirk shooting, you may think it's insignificant, but it may not be. Please dial 801-579-1400. Repeat, 801-579-1400, or go online to tips.fbi.gov. And now we remember American hero Sergeant Ryan Hudson, Paducah PD, killed in the line of duty.
We will get to another video in just a second. But actually, I want to end it right here because there's a lot more I want to get into later on. I will drop the link in the panel to the panel if anybody want to come on and speak on so far this whole situation. So I will drop the link in the I will drop the link to the panel in the chat. Excuse me, family, a little tongue tied right now. So as we wait on the family to hit the link or not, we're gonna play a little music. We'll be right back in a second. Shout out to everybody in the building. This is the new CT song, Body Move. Actually, let's play some Simple Amazing.
Don't interfere cause you don't know me like that. Don't ever play with my emotions. Don't ever play with my emotions. I'm headed to the top where I'm supposed to be at. Don't interfere cause you don't know me like that. Don't ever play with my emotions. Don't ever play with my emotions. When I'm pissed off, I'm like a gun cocked and loaded. Might pop off at any time, don't play with my emotions. They say I'm like my daddy, antisocial and bipolar. Don't deal with the stress, that shit eat at you like Ebola. Cold shoulders what I got, when help is what I needed. Fuck it right, I'm being greedy. Come from mine, you get deleted. I let them make it, they might feel the need to repeat it. Show my loyalty, they don't know how to treat it. Purchases, no receipts with the pack. Want insurances, you gotta pay your fee for that. I ain't tripping, I'ma make it all back on the tax. On the move until it's gone, I don't get to relax. And if you owe me, it ain't safe to say you safe, dog. John Travolta, Nicolas Cage, we gon' face off. It ain't my fault, but in the street, that's how we lay low. They got me moving with this bat like it's baseball. Sometimes your own people the ones that do you dirty. They ain't even 30, trying to get my nigga 30. Know my dog was out here wildin', but I swear he don't deserve it. Kept that stick with him daily, cause them niggas had him nervous for real. I'm headed to the top where I'm supposed to be at. Don't interfere cause you don't know me like that. Don't ever play with my emotions. Don't ever play with my emotions. I'm headed to the top where I'm supposed to be at. Don't interfere cause you don't know me like that. Don't ever play with my emotions. Don't ever play with my emotions.
So we didn't get anyone to hit the link. We're gonna close up out of here, man. Like I said, I think Candace Owens shows more compassion towards Charlie Kirk passing than his own wife. So we're gonna get ready to roll up out of here, man. Shout out to everybody that's in the building. This is your brother, Big Aboriginal Power. And like I said, be safe, be aware, stay vigilant, stay dangerous. It's your boy Aboriginal Power, and we.
I don't understand like the divinity of him tweeting that. Like
I'm living in the 21st century. There's something meaning to it.